Happy New Year. Hello there, it's Paul here and welcome along everyone. Happy New Year, and if you hadn't realised, we're also in a new decade, the 20s. I have literally just finished my 2020 sign. It's New Year's Eve, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and I'm just trying to quickly get a video ready for New Year's Day. The last 2 years I have had a scroll saw project for creating the year sign. I've done exactly the same this year, which I will hopefully have showing up here on the side. But I thought, since I didn't do a video for Christmas, that I would also do a review of what 2019 has been for me and my channel. Now, the first thing, looking back at the stats, I've had over 130,000 views on videos, which to me is absolutely amazing. It's a massive amount. In that, there's been 13,500 hours of videos watched. I mean, that is absolutely staggering. Now, I've also nearly gained 800 subs this year, which has broken me through that 3,000 barrier, so I'm currently up to about 3,200 subs. So a big thank you to every one of you who's subbed to me, and it is so much appreciated. As far as videos goes this year, I started off, certainly over the first half of the year, really having loads of ideas of things to do. I started off with my pyrography segmented clocks, which I haven't done too much pyrography work this year, but it was really nice to get that done. The segmented side seems to be something that's sort of been fairly dominant throughout the year. There was certainly a fair bit of ordinary segmented, closed segmented work, but I also started doing several pieces of open segmented work, which I've got to say is a lot easier to do, because you don't have to be so accurate with the angles. And I'd certainly urge people, if you want to have a go at segmented work, look at the open segmented option. The only thing you really have to do, if you want to glue it on the lathe, you do need to have an indexing system. If you look at my videos, I've got my own homemade system which works well, so you don't have to have a lathe with an indexing system built on it. Now, in that open segmented work, certainly the two real big pieces I did was the mum vase I did for my mum for her birthday or Mother's Day, which I absolutely loved. It was really fiddly to do. And there was also my wife's 50th birthday, which I made that really big lighthouse out of Paducah Beach, and I think it was Purple Heart. There's also been one or two failures this year, which I have included on the channel. I've also had a go for the first time with the Joe Sonja paints, which a big thank you to Wayne the woodturner. I went to see him, and certainly with watching his channel got me having a go at a few things. When I made the lighthouse, I also had a go at engraving the glass, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Certainly like to do more of that in the future. I also had a go with those coloured pencils which you add water to where they become like an ink. I've done a few tool reviews on the channel, which is always helpful to people looking for tools, not necessarily for subscribers, certainly more for other people. The other one big thing that seems to have come around this year as well is the use of pallet wood. Now, I didn't do a video on the making of it, but I did make a set of 4 chairs and mini tables which I've got in the garden. You may well have seen pictures if you follow me on social media, but what I did do, I did a video of where I made the 16 table legs, and I'm certainly no production turner, but I was really pleased to get 16 legs which are pretty much identical to each other. They were all done with the skew, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and which is why when I closed the year off this year, I did a small series on learning to use the skew, which I know has certainly inspired one or two people to pick up the skew off the rack and have a go at certainly some elements of what I was showing. Now, as I said, the first half of the year I was just full of ideas of everything to make, but for some reason when I got towards the second half of the year, certainly September, October time, I was really struggling, and I didn't really come out to the shed much, but I was fortunate that I'd made so many videos beforehand that I think I had about 6 weeks worth of videos all scheduled, so it allowed me time to have a bit of a break. Now, with my channel, I'm always trying to come up with things fairly unique. It's impossible to be totally unique, but often not, you would see somebody's ideas of something they've made and you'll put your own twist on it, and sometimes it's an amalgamation of 2 or 3 things you've seen and you put them all together. So for example, I mean, about a year or so ago, I made my first sphere, which this is the very first one I made, this ash one. And I would certainly urge people, yes, it's nice having a jig to turn the the sphere, but learn to do it by hand first of all. You will learn so much, and you will see curves on a piece of work like that in a totally different light. Spheres seem to be fairly dominant throughout the wood turning community sort of during this last year, and I wanted to put a different twist on there. So with the pallet wood, I made that open segmented sphere where I had a pallet wood solid sphere inside. So that was something that was, as far as I'm aware of, is totally unique, that I've not actually seen anybody do anything similar. Coming up with ideas is certainly the hardest piece, and I found as well that this year I've actually been so busy with various different things that I rarely sort of like get time to look at social media. I haven't really watched that many YouTube videos this year. I try and keep up to date with 1 or 2 channels, but certainly don't watch nowhere near as much as I used to. So for 2020, I have I've been rummaging around the shed during the last few days looking at things, and I've found 1 or 2 things that I'd bought when I did things from probably a year or 2 ago. One was these necklace parts, so I may well have a go at creating some necklaces. Found these little lights that I've got. I mean, yes, Christmas is gone, but there's no reason why we can't use those in something else. I also come across in here is what they call conchos. If you don't know what a concho is, it's a bit like a little glass lens that you actually sort of like as a dome thing that you stick on something. I don't know whether many of you follow me on social media at all, whether it be my Facebook page or Instagram. They're the two main places where I put posts, and I do put some stuff on Twitter, but that's really posted from Instagram. If you've got some idea of something with the little tea lights, or certainly the conchos, then please do either post below or message me on one of the other social media platforms. Do leave a comment below as well if you do follow me on any of the other social media platforms, because it would be nice to know where you're following me from, because it's certainly going to be easier for me to post a question, say like on Instagram or my Facebook page. Thanks a lot for watching, and Happy New Year.